Good day everyone, I am Joshua Allen Millionaire and I will be discussing the Dpwh Bluebook, item 205 to 207. So item 205 to 207 is under part D of the Bluebook, which is about sub-base and base course. But first, let us recall what is sub-base and base course. So sub-base course, it functions primarily as structural support, but it can also minimize the intrusion of fines from the subgrade into the pavement structure and improve drainage. So by the way, subgrade is made up of native soil that has been compacted to withstand the load above it. So as we can see in the figure, subgrade is located under the sub-base course. Next is base course. It provides additional load distribution and contributes to drainage. Base courses are usually constructed out of crush aggregates. So the difference between them is that subgrade or sub-base generally consists of lower quality materials than the base course, but better than the subgrade soils. Sub-base courses are generally constructed out of crush aggregate or engineered fill. So next is item 205, asphalt stabilized road meets base course. Section 205.1 Description. This item shall consist of a foundation for surface course composed of soil aggregate and asphaltic material in proper proportions. Road mix and constructed on a prepared subgrade or subbase in accordance with the specification and the lines, grades, and typical cross-sections as shown on the plans are established by the engineer. So, in short, this item consists all the necessary requirements and specification for the foundation of surface course. Section 205.2 Material Requirements. Under the material requirements is subsection 205.2.1 Soil aggregates. So it shall conform to the applicable requirements of item 703, which is aggregates. Gradation A or B shall be used. Next is asphaltic material. Asphaltic material shall be anionic or cationic emulsified asphalt of the slow setting type, meeting the requirements of item 702. So based on the given item, the requirement of the specification for anionic emulsified asphalt is AASHTO M140 and the requirement for cationic emulsified asphalt is AASHTO M208. So by the way, anionic asphalt particles are negative charge, while the cationic asphalt particles are positive charge. Proportioning of mixture. The amount of asphaltic material to be added to the soil aggregate shall be from 4 to 7 mass% of the dry soil aggregate. The exact percentage to be used shall be fixed by the engineer on the basis of preliminary laboratory tests and trial mixes of the materials furnished by the contractor. Strength requirements. Strength requirements shall conform in all respects to those specified in subsection 23.2.5, which is about CBR test for gravelly soils and unconfined compression test for finer textured soils. Section 205.3 Construction Requirements. Construction requirements and procedures shall be prescribed under subsection 306.3.1 through 306.3.7. So it is about the construction requirements for bituminous road, mixed surface course, and it is explained in this item subsection. In all cases, the word aggregate shall be deleted and replaced by soil aggregate. Trial sections shall conform to the applicable requirements for subsection 200.3.4. So the purpose of trial sections is to check the suitability of the materials and the efficiency of the equipment and construction method. So the allowable tolerances shall be in accordance with subsection 201.3.5. So allowable tolerances is for the aggregate subbase that will be compacted to provide a uniform layer and will conform to the design level and transverse slopes. So next is section 205.4 Method of Measurement. Asphalt stabilized road mix base course will be measured by the cubic meter. The quantity to be paid for shall be the design volume compacted in place as shown in the plans, accepted in the completed course. No allowance shall be given for materials placed outside the design limits, shown on the cross sections. Trial sections shall not be measured separately but shall be included in the quantity of asphalt stabilized road mix base course. So for the measurement, it should be exact and there will be no allowance for the materials outside the design limits. So next is section 205.5 Basis of Payment. The accepted quantities measured as prescribed in section 205.4 shall be paid for at the contract unit price of. So next is section 205.5 Basis of Payment. The accepted quantities measured as prescribed in section 205.4 shall be paid for at the contract unit price of asphalt stabilized road mix base course, which price and payment shall be full compensation for furnishing and placing all materials including all labor, equipment, tools, and incidentals necessary to complete the prescribed work in this item. So payment will be made under, so this sample, we have payment item number, which is 205, then the description, asphalt stabilized road mix base course, and the unit of measurement, which is cubic meter. Next item, 206. Portland cement treated plant mix base course. So this item shall consist of a foundation for surface course composed of aggregate, Portland cement, and water in proper proportions mixed by a travel plant or in a central plant, and spread and compacted on a prepared subgrade or subbase in one or more layers, in accordance with the specification and the lines, grades, thickness, and typical cross-sections shown in the plans or as established by the engineer. Material requirements, same as subsection 204.2.1 through 204.2.5, which is material requirements for soil aggregates, Portland cement, water proportioning of mixture, and strength requirements. Section 206.3 Construction requirements. Weather limitations. Portland cement shall not be applied during windy, rainy, or impending bad weather. In the event rain occurs, work shall be promptly stopped and the entire section shall be reconstructed in accordance with the specification. Next is travel plant method. So the salvage or new soil aggregate shall be pulverized until at least 80% of all material other than stone or gravel will pass a 4.75 mm or number 4 sieve. Any material retained on a 50 mm or 2 inches sieve and other unsuitable material shall be removed. If additional material is specified, it shall be blended with the existing material. All butt joints at existing pavement or other structures shall be cleaned prior to mixing. So any materials retained on a 50 mm or 2 inches sieve shall be removed because it needs to be pulverized until at least 80% of all materials other than stone or gravel will pass a 4.75 mm or number 4 sieve. Then the subgrade or subbase shall support all equipment required in the construction of the base course. Soft or yielding areas shall be corrected prior to mixing. The soil aggregate to be treated shall be placed in a uniform windrow. So this is the example of windrow, and spread to a uniform thickness to the required width. So this is what it looks like. The specified quantity of Portland cement shall be applied uniformly in a trench on top of the windrow or spread uniformly over the soil aggregate. Spread cement that has been lost shall be replaced without additional compensation before mixing is started. Mixing shall be accomplished by means of a mixer that will truly blend the cement and the soil aggregate. The mixer shall be equipped with a water metering device that will introduce the required quantity of water during the mixing cycle. The cement-soil aggregate mixtures shall be sufficiently blended to prevent the formation of cement balls when water is applied. And we have a maximum limit time of 2 hours shall be permitted for wet mixing, laying down, and finishing when this method is used. So the time limit is for the concrete before it is hardened. So the next method is the central plant method. So the soil aggregate shall be proportioned and mixed with cement and water in a central mixing plant. The plant shall be equipped with feeding and metering device which will introduce the cement, soil aggregate, and water to mixer in the quantities specified. Mixing shall continue until a uniform mixture has been obtained. So this is an example of a central mixing plant. Next is spreading, compacting, and finishing. The mixtures shall be spread on a prepared and moistened subgrade or subbase in a uniform layer by an approved equipment. Not more than 60 minutes shall elapse between the start of mixing and the time of starting compaction of the spread mixture. After spreading, the mixture shall be compacted and finished conforming to the procedures or requirements specified under subsection 23.3.6, spreading, compacting, and finishing. The compaction and finishing shall be completed within 2 hours of the time water is added to the mixture. So, it is still the same, the time limit for the concrete before it is hardened. Protection, curing, and maintenance. The completed cement-treated base shall be cured with a bituminous curing seal applied as soon as possible. After the completion of final rolling, the surface shall be kept moist until the seal is applied. So the rate of application shall be between 0.5 liters per meter squared to 1.0 liter per meter squared. So this is an example of the application for the bituminous curing seal. So the exact weight will be determined by the engineer. Curing seal will be applied in the sufficient quantity to provide a continuous film over the base. The film will be maintained at least 5 days unless the treated base is protected by a subsequent course. The contractor shall be responsible for adequate maintenance of the base at all times, as specified under subsection 23.3.7. Next is trial sections. So, it is same as subsection 23.3.8, which stated that trial sections for stabilized base shall be constructed at least 2 weeks before actual base construction. So next is tolerance. So it is same as subsection 23.3.9, which stated that the stabilized base course shall be laid to the design level and transverse slope shown on the plans. And last is the traffic. And it is same as subsection 23.3.10, which stated that the contractor will not be permitted to drive heavy equipment over completed portions prior to end of 5 days curing period except pneumatic tired equipment required for construction adjoining sections. So next is the method of measurement and basis of payment. Section 206.4 Method of measurement. Portland cement treated plant mix base course will be measured by cubic meter. The quantity to be paid for shall be the design volume compacted in place as shown on the plans, accepted in the completed course. No allowance shall be given for materials placed outside the design limits shown on the cross sections. Trial section shall not be measured separately but shall be included in the quantity of Portland cement treated plant mix base course. So it is still the same. So it is the same from the previous item. The measurement should be exact and no allowance for materials outside the design limits. Next is section 26.5 basis of payment. The accepted quantities measured as prescribed in section 26.4, which is the method of measurement, shall be paid at the contract unit price for Portland cement treated plant mix base course, which price and payment shall be full compensation for furnishing and placing all materials, including all labor, equipment, tools, and incidentals necessary to complete the work prescribed in this item. And payment will be made under, so it is still the same. So we have payment number, which is 206, then the description, Portland cement treated plant mix base course, and the unit measurement, which is cubic meter. Item 207, aggregate stockpile. So this item shall consist of furnishing and placing aggregate and stockpiles at locations shown on the plans or as directed and approved by the engineer. So, by the way, an aggregate stockpile or aggregate in stockpile looks like this. So this is an example. So it is basically an aggregate to be stocked or placing of for the aggregates to be stocked or move in the site or the construction area. Then material requirements. The aggregate shall conform to all requirements of the specified item number of the specification. It shall be tested for acceptance at the source. Construction requirements. The stockpile area, as stated by the engineer, shall be graded, shaped, and compacted to a uniform cross-section that will drain satisfactorily. The entire area shall be compacted with a minimum of 3 completed passes of the approved equipment. The stockpiling and handling of aggregates shall be in accordance with Clause 65 and 66, Part H Control of Materials of the latest Dpwh Standard Specifications, Volume 1 Requirements and Condition of Contract. So next is Section 207.4, which is the method of measurement. So the quantity of aggregate to be paid for will be the number of cubic meters as ordered and placed in authorized stockpiles. Stockpiles shall be measured and computed by the average and area method. No allowance will be made for settlement or shrinkage. So, next is Section 207.5 Basis of Payment. The accepted quantities measured as prescribed in Section 207.4 shall be paid for at a contract unit price for aggregate stockpile, which price and payment shall be full compensation for furnishing and stockpiling the aggregate, including all labor, equipment, tools, and incidentals necessary to complete the work prescribed in this item. And payment will be made under this sample. So it is still the same as the previous items. We have payment number, description, unit of measurement, which is cubic meter. So that would be all. Thank you.